Hey, casual crypto investor family, it is the casual crypto investor, and I am back with another video. In this video, we have a lot to unpack. All right. So it's not going to be a super long video, but it'll be a strong video. I guarantee you that. We have a new SEC chair that was just announced today. We're going to go into that. We actually talked about him being a potential SEC chair on one of my previous videos. We also have a couple of clips. We have Brad Garlinghouse talking at the Blockchain Korea conference. And then also too, as well, we have an interview that happened maybe about a week or two ago. I saw it, but I was still kind of digesting it. Went back this weekend because I had a little bit of time to kind of unwind and decompress and just enjoy and just relax and just kind of catch up on some things. And it was the interview that Patrick Bet-David, if you haven't checked out the Valuetainment YouTube channel, definitely check them out. Patrick Bet-David, very successful businessman. He got a lot of his money from having his own insurance company, selling life insurance. And he had Michael Saylor. Obviously, we all know Michael Saylor. He's a Bitcoin maxi. And, just kind of listening to him talk about Bitcoin. Obviously, he definitely is an intelligent guy. But there's a part of me that also feels like, and I'm just playing kind of devil's advocate with you guys. There's a part of me that thinks, could Bitcoin really be a Trojan horse? If you're not familiar with the mythology or the story of the Trojan horse, definitely Google it. I believe it's mythology. I don't think it's actual facts, but the story goes that the Greeks had built a horse for the Trojans as a gift, and basically they hid a whole bunch of soldiers inside the Trojan horse, and they Trojans wheeled the horse into their village or their town, and basically the Greeks attacked the village. Right? I think it goes back and forth if it's fact or fiction, but nevertheless, there's that's where the saying comes from. And there's sometimes a part of me that makes me think that, what if Bitcoin could be a potential Trojan horse? And I think that, and I'm going to play a clip from Michael Saylor in a second. You're going to see that. But before we do that, let's just take a look at the overall crypto market. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds yet, but basically right now we're still up, even though a lot of our favorite cryptocurrencies are currently down on the 1 hour. Right now we are still sitting at almost close to 2.5%. We're up, and basically we're at a $3.54 trillion market cap. Bitcoin still cannot touch that 100K price point, sitting at number $95,000 currently right now. Ethereum still hovering just over $3,600. XRP has had a little bit of a pullback. I think I saw as high as maybe around 290 or so. Like 284. Let's see. Yeah, it got up as high as 284 today. Kind of had a little bit of a pullback. Obviously, this has a lot to do with some of the, civil unrest going in South Korea. South Korea is very pro XRP, and so they've had a little bit of turmoil on that side of the world. And so obviously some of the markets have been reacting to the tensions that have been happening in South Korea. And obviously the markets don't like that. Solana is even currently down on the 1 hour, even though it is up on the was that on the 7-day and the 24-hour. And then also too, as well, it was also announced that Solana will be potentially getting an ETF too as well. But obviously it hasn't reacted to that based on some of the stuff that's been going on in South Korea. Quick shameless plug before we get into some of the articles and information I want to share with you. Feel free to follow me on my X account. You can follow me at Casual Crypto Investor. Great way for you to stay in contact with me. Sometimes it's easier for me to tweet than it is for me to make a video. And if you want to stay updated on what's going on in the crypto space, as well as what's going on in the Casual Crypto Investor family, definitely feel free to follow me on there. All right. So a couple of things I wanted to share with you for this video before we get out. But basically, we have a new President-elect Donald Trump has selected a pro-crypto SEC chair, Paul Atkins. We mentioned him on one of my other previous videos. If you're not familiar with Paul Atkins, he was actually the SEC chair back in 2002 to 2008 during, I believe it was President Bush's presidency. So he's already been familiar with this role. He has experience in this role. Obviously, a very accomplished attorney, went to Vanderbilt law school. And so I think he's great. Plus he's been very, very pro crypto. And so I'm excited to see him have the role and to see what type of fresh ideas that he's going to be bringing into the space. So, we shall see. We were told that Gary Gensler first was going to be very pro crypto and all this kind of stuff. And then look what we got. And then even with Jay Clayton, a lot of times we blame, Gary Gensler on a lot of the downfall that the crypto space has had. But if you recall, Jay Clayton really pushed the ball down the hill. He started the lawsuit and then left his role as SEC chair. And then basically Gary Gensler, we were hoping that he would, maybe be a little bit more pro crypto friendly, but he wasn't. He just pretty much continued where Jay Clayton had left off. And Jay Clayton was appointed by Donald Trump as SEC chair. So we got to remember, the chain of events that would happen. But I'm not blaming. I'm not pointing the finger. I'm grateful for where we are right now. I'm glad that, Donald Trump is a little bit more, is a lot more pro crypto than the previous president. And so I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the future. But I just was kind of just more so just kind of, making sure we know like how everything started in regards to that. But nevertheless, I'm glad, extremely happy where we are now. We have someone that's very pro crypto, that's going to work with crypto and wants to make make America the crypto hub of the world, which I am totally on board for. I think it's long overdue. We need that because if we don't, we're only going to get further behind. So I'm excited to see what Paul Atkins is going to bring to the table. All right. So, as I was mentioning earlier, not sure if you checked it out or if you've seen this, but a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, Patrick Bet-David, obviously successful businessman, as I mentioned, interviewed Michael Saylor, right? And, one of the things that in hearing him talk, and I'm going to play a clip for you guys in a second, it just made me realize that, I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks that Bitcoin might be a Trojan horse. If you were around, or if you recall, the financial crisis of 2008 and 7 and 8, they had the type of loans, like no income, no asset loans. And a lot of people were buying houses and all that kind of stuff with no income. It didn't have to prove any income, that didn't have to prove any assets or anything, right? Now Bitcoin is kind of being pushed to the masses, right? Institutions are getting Bitcoin. Everyone is getting Bitcoin, right? But I'm going to play a clip from Michael Saylor, and I want you to honestly listen to this and then give me your feedback and let me know if this makes any sense. The reason why I say this is because, now all these companies, institutions, you have ETFs, all this kind of stuff with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin doesn't really necessarily have no utility. I can see it as being a store of value. I get that 100%. But at the same time, too, it's kind of like, okay, this was created by, Satoshi Nakamoto, right? Nobody knows what he looks like. Nobody's talked to him, or at least from our knowledge. He hasn't come out publicly and said anything, but we're supposed to invest billions of dollars in a form of technology that we can't even find him. Obviously maybe the quote unquote government or the power that be might know who he is and all this kind of stuff. I'm not trying to get into the whole, conspiracy theory stuff, but at the same time, why are we investing in something? It's almost like Satoshi could be Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. Why is billions of dollars being invested into some form of technology that we don't even know what this guy looks like, or even know, or like don't even have a company that we can, we could stand by or anything. So I don't know. It just sounds really funny. I'm going to play this clip in a second and I'll be back. All right. So check out this clip and definitely let me know in the comments what you think. All right. So I'm going to play this clip and I'll be right back.
Not anything else, but watch this. Go ahead.
You mentioned you met Satoshi in Seattle in 1993. He also came to you in a dream.
Twice.
You have a nice relationship with Satoshi.
It is not fair that Burchella asked him the question, and I
Is
felt
that in
a
the
little bit
world? Is that
surprised.
inappropriate to ask the question in the world? Why did you get a little bit uncomfortable?
I think it's inappropriate.
Why do you think that
I
is?
think it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate for a big, it's like just inappropriate. Satoshi came onto the scene in 2008 Halloween with the white paper. Asking anybody about their relationship with Satoshi before that date is an unfair, inappropriate question.
It's almost as if it's
It was awkward, but that's all I have to say. I'm a big fan of Scotty. He's greatest ever. I'm a big fan of Satoshi. I would rather not
well, maybe I'll say
be
my
in an
thoughts.
awkward situation.
I'll say it and you don't have to say anything. I get the feeling like, is there an element of looking at Satoshi as God, as Jesus in that space? Like, do some people look at him that way? Where it's not just this mysterious, anonymous inventor of Bitcoin, or is it like almost like worshipped type of a character?
Satoshi's a spiritual figure in the Bitcoin community. Satoshi is equivalent to Prometheus. Prometheus gave us fire. Satoshi gave us money. Bitcoin is the first perfect money, the first perfect money in the history of the human race. I spend my copious free time reading economic history, and I've read thousands of years of economic history and tens of thousands of pages, and it's one chaotic, disaster train wreck of we used seashells, we used bales of tobacco, we used silver and gold, and we clipped the coins, and we had bimetallism, and it crashed, and we had fiat currency, and we had a debt crisis, and no one ever had a money that was not defective. I mean, I can show you examples of monetary crashes every 30 years for the past 3,000 years in every single culture. And Satoshi comes along for the first time and says, oh yeah, here's money, it's not broken.
And we're back, and I just don't know, guys. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments again what you think about this. I don't know. I just find it very strange that, again, as I mentioned earlier, that institutions are starting to invest billions of dollars into something that we don't even know what the person looks like. We don't know, we couldn't even, the common person wouldn't even know what Satoshi looks like, or there's no, I don't know. It almost kind of reminds me also too of the movie, if you've ever seen the movie, The Unusual Suspects, right? And Kaiser Sose, right? And so Kaiser Sose is this really bad criminal and all this kind of stuff, but really he was just created by another person to mask his real, basically he's like the boogeyman for criminals, right? And so definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Usual Suspects, or The Unusual Suspects, if I'm not mistaken. It's like an old school 90s movie. But this is what Bitcoin almost kind of sounds like to me to some degree. And going back to the example of using or Bitcoin is like a Trojan horse, and very similar to the institutional products that were used during the 2006, 7, and 8. A lot of times they blame those products on the financial institutions, and then you had reform, right? Because you had that huge downturn in the market. And so I'm wondering if the same thing is being done with crypto. Is Bitcoin going to be the scapegoat for maybe a future downturn in the crypto market? So let me know in the comments what you think about this. Maybe I'm crazy. I hate to sound like a conspiracy theory person, but let me know your feedback on that. But more and more happier note, or positive note, we have Brad Garlinghouse talking at the Korean blockchain conference. And I'm honestly with him too as well when he with what he said at the particular conference. And I'm gonna play a clip for you guys in a second before we get out of here. But basically, at the end of the day, I do want all of crypto to win, because if crypto wins, we win. And I'm literally kind of paraphrasing what Brad Garlinghouse was saying. But I definitely believe that, crypto is going to be here to stay. It's the future. It's almost like I was explaining to another friend of mine. It's kind of like the stock market 2.0. It trades 24/7. There's tons of great companies on there that are actually going to push things forward, push technology forward, push finance forward, push AI forward. And so, I'm very, very excited, and I'm very optimistic in regards to the future of crypto. So, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Am I the only one thinking this way? Is if Bitcoin's a Trojan horse? And so that's why I really heavily heavily invest in projects that have real utility, that are trying to solve real problems out here. And so that's kind of my thought process when investing in particular projects. And so again, guys, I appreciate all your support. If you like this type of content, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. And we're going to leave you out with the clip from Brad Garlinghouse at the blockchain conference in South Korea. Take care. Bye-bye.
Than I've ever been.
That's exciting. What about the next 5 years in Ripple? What are you excited about? Or at least let's do 2025. Let's start there.
2025. Well, look, obviously we're entering a new business line with our stablecoin. Custody has continued to grow. We certainly think that the core of our business around cross-border payments has continued to grow and adding more customers globally. So, look, we're almost 1,000 employees and quite optimistic about continuing to grow there. But again, I really do focus on, I want crypto to win. The tribalism that has infected crypto over the past 5 years, I think, is starting to go away. I'm bullish on so many projects. Ripple has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in other crypto projects. We will continue to do that because we think if crypto wins, we're all going to win.
I love that.